Good evening, Bhante and all Kalyana Mita. Namo Buddhaya and Sukhi Hontu. I'm Aliana and welcome to TRV Friday Sutta discussion by Bhante Dr. Ganggo Dawila Chandima. This is the day 115 of Sutta discussion class. Tonight class is the third class of Girimānanda Sutta with topic the perception of non-self or anatta. Girimānanda Sutta is the 11th sutta that have been chosen by Bhante Chandima for this sutta discussion. In previous classes, Bhante has discussed about Manggala Sutta, Ratana Sutta, Metta Sutta, Sigalawada Sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Sabbasawa Sutta, Patakama Sutta, Patamasamajjivi Sutta, Alawaka Sutta, and Dajaga Sutta, which Bhante has elaborated those sutta in depth. For those who have missed our previous classes, please check on Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana Klang's Facebook page or YouTube channel. We have uploaded the previous classes there. We are always welcoming newcomers, therefore whoever that wish to join the class via Zoom where we can engage directly with Bhante can contact the Vihara through TRV Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp. Our speaker, Bhante Dr. Ganggo Dawila Chandima, is the Associate Editor of the Journal of International Buddhist Studies or JIBS, which is published by the Buddhist Research Institute of Mahachulalongkorn Raja Vidyalaya University in Thailand. He was previously a research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society or CSRS at University of Victoria, Canada. Bhante Dr. Chandima was also a Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada from year 2012 till 2016. Bhante is currently the senior advisor to Ti-Ratana, a virtual Dhamma organization that hosts a weekly online Pali reading class, Sutta discussion, Dhamma talk, and a variety of other Dhamma activities. His Dhamma works can be accessed at www.patisota.blogspot.com, or we can also follow Bhante at Ti-Ratana Facebook account. Without further ado, we welcome once again Bhante, and as always, thank you very much for the wonderful guidance and teaching. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Ariana, for the introduction. Good evening, Dhamma friends. Welcome back. And we are going to conduct Sutta discussion, the 115 about Girimānanda Sutta. We actually discussed Girimānanda Sutta since a couple of Fridays. Before we get started, shall we pay respect to the Buddha? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay. Do we have newcomers today? I don't think there are newcomers.
I do not see yet, Bhante. Maybe later.
Yeah, maybe all are known comers. Known faces, yes. Okay, today we have Aliana, Kim, Margaret, Melinda, Cheng, Cindy. How do I address you? Pesala, Otisili, Dhamma name, Kelvin, Gan, Jacqueline, Hema, you, Ho, Jun, Sumita, AM. Yeah, so if we look at our Sutta discussion, probably the Friday before last Friday, I think, we've been discussing the first sanya. Can you remember the first sanya? What was it? The sanya was about?
It's about anicca, Bhante.
It's about
Impermanent.
anicca sanya. Right? It's about anicca sanya. Now, anicca sanya has been discussed in a way. Let's go and take a look. We were discussing how to practice anicca sanya. This is how the Buddha asks us to practice anicca sanya. There are 5 aggregates: Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. 5 aggregates. We have to think that they are changing. Not even they are changing. There are moments of time that we can change them too, right? But if somebody wants to do a plastic surgery, can that person change the face? Yes, that person can change the face, so the rupa will be changed. But if somebody wants to do a cosmetic treatment, that person understand he or she has a lot of acne on the face. I want to change my appearance. Go for a cosmetic treatment. Perhaps it could be very expensive, but you can do it. Rupa. Can you change your Vedana? Vedana is changing. At the same time, you can change your Vedana. How to change your Vedana?
Feeling
Yeah, feeling. Yeah, how to change your feeling?
happy, sad.
Yeah, you can customize. You can either be unhappy now. You can be sad now. You can also be happy. Sometimes there are conditions you cannot be happy. You have to be like that because of conditions. But at the same time, there is a window that you can change your feeling. And sanya, can you change your sanya? Your memory, your perception, how to change your sanya?
Citta.
Change your way of looking at anything. Change the way you look at your past, right? Change the way you look at what has been happening to you. Say, for instance, someone is always waking up to a negative mindset. There are people like that, right? They all wake up to a very moody, kind of a moody mindset. I feel very lonely. I feel alone. Nobody is with me. This loneliness kind of feeling every morning. But then he or she opens up. I have family members. Now I understand I'm surrounded by others. But there are people who wake up to that kind of loneliness, kind of an isolation. But you think about, no, I'm not isolated. But this is how I woke up in the morning. But when you get up, you understand there are people around, right? So you can change your perception. Let's say you had a story with something or someone. Can you rewrite your story? Can you rewrite your story? Let's say you had bad experiences in your life. You have good experiences in your life. Right? We have been going through these 2 experiences, right? Since every day. Can we change our good experiences to a better experience? Huh? Why not? Somebody goes to a vihara, becomes a part of a katina ceremony, right? Right? One very simple example, katina time, right? And then, but never heard about katina in more details. Just go and participate. Just go touch the rope and come back home. That's it. And some fellowship. But one day, he or she is going to know more about katina ceremony. What is really katina? What is this? Why are we doing this? Why are they doing this? Then you are becoming happier about your engagement. So aren't you changing a perception about katina from that point onwards? You are. Then what is happening on the other side? You are making more merits, more good karma, right? And then what about your sankhara? Can you change your sankhara? Can you change? What is sankhara?
Formation. Is it formation?
Yeah, formation is
Volition.
one translation. Let's talk about
Volition,
some
Bhante.
easy, light, easy layman translation. Very easy one.
Volition,
Karma.
karma, our daily good
Yeah,
and bad.
karmic formation.
Yeah.
Lot of things are getting formed, but karma. What do you call? We don't have a Pali word, English word for that. Karma process, karmic activity. That means we are creating karma for most of our activities. Are we creating karma now?
Yes.
We got to be very careful. Huh? If we are making karma, we got to be careful. We don't know whether we make akusala or kusala. We have to consciously look at, is it akusala or akusala? Because there
Kusala.
are some people, when they go to do a good thing also, they do akusala sometimes. Doing a kusala with akusala mind sometimes. Let's say they are doing a good thing, but halfway of the good activity, they become greedy. Money, what a waste is this? That is money part. My effort, my time. The people I don't like also came to the ceremony. Now I feel a little embarrassed over here. So that means you are in the kusala activity. You are in the kusala activity. But inside of your mind, some akusalas also can appear. Okay? So this is called karma can be changed. Yes, it can be changed for the good side or bad side. So karma. Rupa is changing, Rupa is changeable. Vedana is changing, Vedana is changeable. Sanya is changing, Sanya is changing. Unfortunately, a lot of people pick up the first part. Rupa is changing, so what to do? Vedana is changing, what to do? Sanya is changing, what to do? Sankhara are changing, what to do? Nothing to do. You can do. Whatever you do to change something it's also part of this anicca thing. Then vinyana, consciousness. Consciousness means our cognition part, cognitive part. In Pali suttas, there are three things involved with the consciousness, cognition part. What are they? What are they? Mano, Chitta, Vinyana. These three are operating within the consciousness, cognition part. Now, how many people are saying when they get older, we took 5 precepts every day, but we never cognize what they are, what they were. Buddhang saranang gacchami. What is this? Why I go to the Buddha? Dhammang saranang gacchami. Why I go to the Dhamma? Sanghang saranang gacchami. Why I go to the Sangha? Dutiyampi, secondly. Secondly also I go to them. Tatiyampi, thirdly also I go to them. What are these things? Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadan Samadhiya. Every day when I go to Vihar in the morning, someone thinks that I take it, but I never cognize about it. So I didn't understand what it is all about, what it was all about. But now when I get older, I understand. There's something that I need to learn. That means a lot of people don't cognize enough compared to this Dhamma awareness, early time, when they get used to Dhamma things. So that means cognizing is cognition, which is the activity, but cognizing is such a very interesting thing that we are supposed to practice, supposed to do it. What about someone who has a cognitive deprivation? Someone who has autism, ADHD, who has a cognitive issue, then the responses are coming late, cannot grasp anything, right? Those things can happen. And the same thing can happen to someone when they are absent-minded. Are we forgetful sometimes during the day? Do you put your car key in the car and lock the car? Sometimes. And then think about, where is the car key now? It is happily staying inside the car because you put it inside the car. Do you sometimes lock the door unless you have a key? Do you sometimes misplace your tools, equipment in the house? Your bag, your tools, your kitchen, stuff. Maybe your food, putting everywhere, and then finding like a rocket something. Where is it? Where did I put it? I don't remember now. Right? That means we have to be organized. I normally tell this, in many classes. We have to stay organized, right? Because that is a part of this cognizing activity. The more we understand properly, then the more we organize. A good Buddhist is properly, adequately organized person. Why do I say so? You think about someone who is making akusala, who is lying, who is backbiting, talking behind the back, who is hurting other people, who is gossiping. What is the problem of these people? Fundamental problem. They are not organized in their speech. But for them, they are very organized. So they plan to badmouth. Right? They plan to hurt other people. They plan to gossip. They plan to lie. But in Buddhism, we understand the skillfulness, kusala activity has to be an organized activity. Because nowadays, everything is organized. Organized crime, not crime anymore, organized crime. It's a big plan. There's a mastermind somewhere, right? Organized plan, organized crimes. So, vijnana, that means vijnana is also changing and changeable. So, this is what we learn about anicca sanya. Then that means when we practice anicca sanya, 10% of our sicknesses must be gone away. Because if there are 10 sanya, if our healing or recovery is 100%, then at least 10% of our healing must have taken place by now. How does it happen? The more we understand the change, the more we embrace the change, the more healing is going to come. How does it happen? Can you think about a very simple example? Someone who is scared to make a mistake. Are there people like that? Very scared because somebody can scold me. My loved ones can scold me. Let's say now I'm driving somewhere. I don't want to miss the exit. Hey, don't talk to me. I'm pretty concerned about my driving now today. Too much focus on driving, but finally missed the exit too. Right? That's pretty bad because unnecessarily too much focus on something, and then again going to unleash anger on other people in the car. So you're talking that time. We started a journey. You talk about something, so I missed the exit to go around and come back again. Don't talk to me again. So these people, say for instance, these people have the problem of, what's the problem that they are having? They don't stay adaptable. They don't stay changeable. Right? Whoever talks to us, whatever is happening, we are calmly, quietly, peacefully spending our time. Nobody can take our happiness. You just do your own way. Somebody else does his or her own way, happily, graciously engage in the daily activities. So when you do that, most of the healing is coming to you. Otherwise, you are pressurizing yourself, you are depressing yourself, you are getting sick, right? And they also know that. They also say, you make my blood today, like this and that. They also know that something is happening to them. But they are doing that on top of that. So, anicca sanya can heal us when we embrace changes we heal a lot. Now today we are going to heal in another 10%, more than that probably, because second Sanya. It's about anatta Sanya. Let's go and take a look. Anatta Sanya. This one. Perhaps you can ask someone to read. Okay, so here. So I'm going to see like this. Yeah. This part. Yes. Who would like to read this part? You can raise your virtual hand. Oh, there are three. So, so much interest. Huh? So who would like to go for it?
Whoever.
Whoever, yeah.
Yeah. Who are the
Okay. Yeah, you are left alone now, so you go ahead. Yes, Kim,
What?
please go ahead. Yes.
Katama Chananda Anatta Sanya Ida Nanda Biku Aranyangato Va Ruka Mulagato Va Sunyagaragato Va Iti Pati Sanjikati Caku Anatta Rupa Anatta Sotang Anatta Sada Anatta Ganang Anatta Ganda Anatta Jiwa Anatta Rasa Anatta Kaya Anatta Uttaba Anatta Mano
Uttama.
Taba Anatta Mano Anatta Dhamma Anattati Iti Imesu Chasu Aja Tikabahiresu Ayatanesu Anatanupasi Viharati.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's great.
Right?
Yes, that's great. Ayang Uchatananda,
Anta Sanya.
Anatta Sanya.
Thank you.
Yes, great. All right. How we are going to understand Anatta Sanya? This part is Anatta Sanya. Exactly. But the Tatama Achananda, Anatta Sanya. Ananda, what is Anatta Sanya? Now, how do we translate this Pali word? I think we will translate this now before we go ahead. What is Anatta?
Not self.
Not
Not
self.
self. Not self.
There are a lot of translations about Anatta. Now, you know, most of the translations, they come from 17th, 18th century European scholarship. And they translated Pali text in, I would say, comparison to, in similarity to the Holy Bible. So most of the translations that came into the, especially some of the earliest books, Pali Text Society books, they come from these European translations. Sometimes they were very Protestant translations. I mean, so we don't have to worry, blame anyone, but we are understanding Pali words from the Pali context and looking at the English translation. What could be a better translation? That you look at English and then go pick up the Pali. Yes, that might be the first approach, but when you know, as you know, then we are doing the opposite mostly. Most books, even the books that came probably in the 19th century, they translated anatta to be non-self. What is it? Maybe I'm going to type for you. The chat. Non-self. Or they translated this to be no self. This is the problem. This is why early Buddhism got into a lot of problems, because when someone translated this Pali word as not non-self or no self, then their arose a problem. What was the problem? What is the problem? If there is no self, if there is non-self, then who is doing good karma, bad karma? That's a pretty technical question. Then who is going to go to the next life? Who is becoming Nibbana, attaining Nibbana? Right? So all these are very practical, very simple questions. But the problem was this translation was added without looking at a larger, broader picture of the anatta, the Pali word anatta. So they simply added the understanding called no self. Actually, this no self idea primarily comes from Hinduism. They say no self. They have this self, no self debate. So they were not very hesitant to say, the translators, they said no self, not self. So the proper translation, as we understand a lot of Pali Suttas, is not self, N-O-T, not self. That means we cannot take self as self at a certain level in a different context, but there is self. But at a certain point, we cannot take it as self. But self exists with changes. The Buddha's point is that self is not permanent. Self is changing. But you cannot say there is no self or no self. It exists with changes. So if you say non-self, that is going to be a misunderstanding. Self exists, change up. Right? So there is no unchanged self, there is changed self. So this is the primary, very easy way to understand this Pali word, anatta. Let's take a very simple example before we get down to the bottom of this concept. How do we understand anatta in our life? What is the problem that we are getting to during the day about not understanding anatta? Is this the highest concept in Buddhism? Is this? Anicca is the first, dukkha is the second, anatta is the third. Then it should be the highest concept. That means if we know anatta, we can achieve lots of progress in our Dhamma journey. Now say for instance, I'll give you a very layman example. Today, you got disappointed for something. Let's say around 4 p.m., exactly 5 hours before, from now. Minor disappointment. You did not expect that, but it happened. You were disappointed. So you could call it, I'm very frustrated. It didn't happen the way I want. But then now, 9 o'clock, 5 hours have gone from that point onwards. Sorry about the sounds because I'm in Little India. People are still celebrating Deepavali. So, firecrackers. Okay. So, then looking at the time 5 hours before, oh, that was me, but 5 hours before me, not now. That means my previous self. That was me, but 5 hours before. But that self has been changing over time. From 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. It has been changing. How do I understand that? I understand, yes, self-existing, change-update. Changing self is happening from 4 p.m. up until now. Now I'm a different self. Self exists, but with changes. But for the person who thinks knows, there is an unchanged self. What does it mean? Unchanged self mean? That means no understanding about anatta concept. That means I existed at 4 p.m. without changes, and I exist now without any changes compared to 4 p.m. Then I will have a lot of problems in my life during that day. Because I label myself that I have been unchanged. I have been unchanged. Conditions that have happened to me also have been unchanged. I have to reply. I have to take revenge. I have to I have to react to those things. So I will be in trouble. That means this anatta concept is such a relief for our daily problems. That means if you really practice anatta, you will be less disappointed. You will be less frustrated. Right? That's an interesting thing. But there are ways we can minimize even the disappointment. Say, for instance, you are not organized enough. You want to go somewhere. Then you don't mind about the traffic. You are entering the city during a heavy traffic time. Now you are blaming everybody in the traffic. Whose problem is that? You could have gone early, left early. But now everybody who is in the traffic will be your enemy, you know. Why these guys are going here and there, you know. Because we could have done certain things to avoid that. Let's say it happened to me. Happily embrace, okay, this is a moment of time for me to practice some patience. I can check my spiritual journey, Dhamma journey. I don't have to go to a vihara and do meditation for that, to check whether I am patient enough, because you are anyways patient in the vihara. Who is going to be impatient in the vihara? Tell me. Who is going to be that mad, the monstrous evil being in the vihara? They all are having nice, good-looking, positive, skillful faces. Right? So you are thinking every moment in some ways a moment of practice. So anatta is such a relief. If we understand anatta way, is such a relief. So I mean, with that understanding, let's delve into the text now. Okay. Now again, Buddha is talking about locations where we may have to go through different issues, and then we bring anatta sanya. Even you see this in the anicca sanya too, this place. Aranya gato. Aranya means aranya.
Forest. Forest is it?
Forest. A little bit of what do you call countryside, maybe aranya. Rukhamula,
Foot of the tree.
foot of a tree. That means you perhaps maybe living in a house in the city, but you go to a tree in your garden, right? Maybe you have a tree in your garden. Whatever the tree, you want to sit at the foot of that tree. Or somebody might go to a faraway countryside place where he or she sits down at the foot of the tree. Then sunya, gar. Sunya means
Empty.
empty. Gar,
House.
this Pali word is called agar. Pali word is going like this, agar. You can see this is elided. It's gone, it's omitted. Because there are two vowels going on. Sunya, agar. Two vowels are going, one vowel has to go. No, when two vowels, say for instance, in Pali grammar, two vowels cannot go together. One vowel has to go away, just for the easy pronunciation. At that time, monks did not have books to preserve these things, so they had to transmit orally. So this Pali goes like, if there are two vowels, one vowel at the beginning of the first word, another vowel at the beginning of the next word, then one vowel has to go. So sunya, agar, but here sunya, gar. One vowel has been omitted. Sunya means empty place. What is the empty place?
Private place.
A private place. A private place. That means it's important to time spend some time in a place where you can reflect about your practice. It's important, right? You may need to be socialized at the same time. You also make time for you. So, Sunyagara. Now, suppose you are in any of these places time to time, right? Then you are going to think like this. This is how you can practice anatta. Okay. See, how many ways are there? There are 12 ways to practice anatta. Sanya. Anatta. 12 ways. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10, number 11, number 12. Okay. 12 ways to practice. So if you want to practice anatta, you can use any of these areas to practice anatta. That means we can practice anatta time to time. We don't have to worry about it. Firstly, we are bringing anatta to our physical eye. Chakku anatta. Chakku means
Eyes.
Chakku means our
Eyes.
piece of eyes, 2 eyes. So are our eyes anatta? Now, if you take it literally, you might say, these are not my eyes. Then whose eyes are these? Is this somebody's eyes that you are having? Probably somebody passed away and you took that person's eye. Probably. So let's say somebody has had an eye transplant. It can say, these are not my eyes. Somebody passed away, and I got a that kind of a surgery. Then the easiest way someone can say I practice chakku anatta is getting a surgery from other people. Okay? These are not my eyes. That's the easiest way. No, that's not the way. Once they are operated within into you, then they become your own eyes, right? Might be borrowed from other people. But how to practice anatta here? My eyes, I know that I have my eyes, but my eyes are not always in the ownership, in the management of me. That's an easy way to practice anatta. Yes, I can go wash my eyes, rinse my eyes. I can take care of my eyes. I don't want to see gadgets in the darkness. This blue light is so bad. So I'm very careful. I turn light when I watch some gadgets, phones, laptops, and then I don't want to look at the sun. You know that when you get old, cataract and all these issues are coming. So you take care of your eyes, right? But although you take care of your eyes the best that you can you sometimes avoid the problems that are coming to your eyes? Let's say there may have certain issues that you will go through because of the anatta nature of your eyes. Suddenly you find out your eyes getting dry all the time. It's not just because you haven't slept enough. Doctors say, maybe. Now there are no enough lubricants in your eyes. Then you have to buy certain eye lubricants and then drop them. Then you understand, I have been going through a certain old age at that point. If it is under me, it cannot be like this. Eyes are mine now, you can't be dry. You can't be dry. It's my own eyes. You have to be always stay lubricated, lubricated, and then they are mine. But it's not. Yes, I can take care of myself, but at times I understand I have to go through my old age issues. Accepting that part. What are the other issues that you cannot avoid with regard to eyes? Can somebody share with us? We don't think that you are old, just because you share these things, but just go ahead. Because they are new things. Yes,
ears.
Barbara.
Yeah, Bhante, our ears. We go there.
We come to those faculties slowly. But now eyes. What are the things that you cannot sometimes avoid with regard to eyes?
Okay. Short-sightedness.
Short-sightedness in life or in eyes. Some people are short-sighted in their life. They are not far-sighted. Okay, eyes, short-sightedness, and probably as a part of old age. And then what else? What are the issues that we cannot sometimes avoid with regard to eyes?
Cataract. Bhante.
Cataract, yes, cataract we just talked about, yes. And then what else?
Infection.
Huh?
Eye infection.
Eye infection, very interesting, eye infection. And what about fluttering eyes when someone is too much watching gadgets and then eyes become dry and fluttering, and you don't want to flutter, but eyes are fluttering. You don't want them to flutter because it's so uncomfortable, but they are fluttering. Then they are not in my management, right? They are happening in the way they want. Anatta is over there. I understand, yes. What else?
For those, Bhante, for those with allergic to certain things, food or medicine, then they react and the eyes will be like tearing all the time.
Tears are coming.
Yeah.
Yes.
Opposite of dry eyes.
That as a matter of allergies.
Yeah.
So
So
they don't want that to happen, but it happens.
Yeah. Once you take antihistamines, then you will be back to normal. I feel it because I have mild asthma and I'm allergic to artificial colors in foods. So usually you get it.
Yes, but with some of the revolutionizing medical technology, there are some some help, antihistamine, but still things are happening in a way more or less. But yeah, what are the other issues that we go through that we don't like them to happen, but they are happening for the eyes? What are they? Eyes are connected to other health problems, like say for instance glaucoma. Somebody is having diabetes too much, and then finally it attacks the eyes. Glaucoma is coming. These are normal things in our life nowadays. You can see people who are going through dialysis, kidney issues, and then coming down and end up with glaucoma. So that means nobody wants to have that kind of thing into the eyes, but it still happens. I am not saying lose the battle to the eyes, lose the battle to the dynamics of anatta. What I'm saying is that let's take care of our eyes, can do a lot of things, can take care of it. We can practice healthy habits, but still there's a certain gray area that we may not be able to manage. Then we understand, yes, I do everything what I can do, but still anatta is prevailing to me. So the Buddha said, in terms of understanding anatta, not self, think that yes, these eyes are yours, but they are changing. The quality of eyes are changing. Health of eyes are changing, right? So try to understand that changing nature. So don't say that this is a permanent state. When you are young, don't think that this, impeccable nature of eyes are going to stay forever. Understanding eyes health, eyes maintenance, and probably the senile stuff that are coming to our eyes time to time are changeable and changing. So this understanding is helpful to think. My eyes are not mine if I take them as unchanging stuff. They are changing all the time. If I understand them as changing, I have clearly practiced anatta with regard to my eyes. Not even eyes. Then Buddha talks about the objects of the eyes, pleasure side. Then rupa anatta. Rupa anatta means, what are the rupa? Rupa means images, sights. You don't have to blame about yourself. Now think about what are coming down to our eyes. How many people blaming the objects that they are seeing every day? Because today morning I saw somebody, I think my day is gonna be very bad today. This is what people think. So I want to see something good, somebody who's good, wholesome, right? Maybe somebody, they have their own mystic understanding, mythologies, So we have to demystify their thoughts sometime, right? So whenever we see things, then we have to understand they are also changing, they are also changeable. Don't need to think that they are permanent, right? They are permanent. So we are thinking they are changing, they are existing, but they are existing with changes. Rupa, anatta. And then we will go to the second faculty, sex faculty, we call it Sota. Sotang anatta. This is number 1, number 2, this one number 3. Sotang anatta. Sota means ears. How do I know that our ears are not ours in that sense? Yes, these ears are ours, but how do we maintain anatta into my ears, anatta into your ears? Do we sometimes getting problems with like hearing aid problems as we age? We get some hearing aid problems. Why do we get hearing aid problems as we age? There may be multiple issues, maybe old age, maybe someone has overused the ears, always using headphones, everything all the time, hearing. And then going to ruin the capacity of the ears. But these are given to us only for certain years. What if we are going to overuse our ears? They cannot survive anymore. Right? It's like somebody is using one pen the whole day, then ink will be run off, right? This is happening because the pen has ink to a certain extent. So we understand, yes, I have my ears, but time to time I also understand there are things that I cannot manage with regard to my ears, but still I can take care of it. I don't think that my ears are permanent ears. They are changing. Their quality of reception can be changed, right? Things are happening, but still I can do something with regard to my ears. Then Chakku anatta, Rupa anatta, Saddha anatta, Sotang anatta, Saddha anatta. Sounds are changeable. And we discuss it differently. Here, sounds are not self. Do we take the sounds as self sometimes?
No.
We do, time to time. Let's say we get to hear a very melodic, very supersonic song, right? A music. Then we are blown away by that music. We want to hear it again. We download, we play it, you bring it to your car, you want to hear it again. You go back to YouTube and search, and you see the remix version, this version, that version. And you want to put a bookmark, you put a lot of bookmarks sometimes. Maybe that is your morning wake up. You don't want to hear any other song. You want to hear that song, otherwise you can't get up from your bed. So you might be blown away by that song, that particular music, morning vibe, afternoon vibe, evening vibe, maybe night lullaby, whatever. But it's a sound. So these sounds, sometimes people think that they are under them, but they are not under them. Time to time, they are sometimes not working the way that you want. But if that you want to go back to this song, but song is not with you, there is no internet at that time, then you become very frustrated. How come? Now I can't do my work today. In order to listen to this song, I need internet. I need Wi-Fi. suddenly Wi-Fi is lost. Wi-Fi connection is off. Right? So we have to understand sounds are not self. But we can do certain things, but ultimately they cannot be taken as self. Self means they have to be permanent. Then in this way, this conversation goes to all the sense faculties. What about Gahana? Gahana, the fifth one. What does Gahana mean?
Smell. The nose.
Gahana means nose.
Nose.
Nose. It is said that nose is not self. Is it? Then whose nose is this? if the nose is not self, then whose nose is this? Yes, this nose is my nose and yours is your nose. But the thing is that condition, quality of the nose can change over time. Then how do I understand? I tell my nose, you can't change because it's my nose. You are my nose. But nose is a part of sankhara. It has to go through arising, staying, going away part, anicca, dukkha, anatta. So we understand, yes, I have my nose, but there's a certain area, certain time that I cannot keep my nose under my management. Tell me a good example for that. A moment of time where you cannot keep your nose under you.
Sensitive nose, Bhante.
Huh?
Sensitive nose, the sinus or this that.
Tell me a very simple example. You are having a call.
Mm.
Then you go somewhere, you cannot smell anything. You really want to smell, but you cannot smell. Other people are saying, hey, don't you smell this? No. I don't smell because I don't like to smell this way, but I cannot smell. Something has happened to me. Sinus problem. Maybe my nostrils are blocked inside because of the phlegm.
Mm.
I don't want that to happen, but it's happening to me. If it is my nose, then it shouldn't be like this. It has to be free from blockage. It has to be free from mucus, phlegm, and all these things. But it is still happening the way that I don't want. Interesting, right? If we think like this, we will heal a lot. Every time when people don't understand, they think that what is happening to me, they come up with a lot of frustration. They are unleashing anger on the people around them. Because why they are unleashing anger? They think that they could manage their nose
Better.
at all times. But when they cannot manage it, they unleash anger on everybody. Right? So that means we can instantly heal. Immediately, we can heal through the nose. What about the smell? Then we go to the Gahana, anatta. What's the other side? Gandha. This one, number 6. Gandha. Gandha means gandha, smell. Now the smell. Others had immaculate, very good noses without any health problems. But now the problem is not about the nose. It's about smell that is coming. Do you think that we are equally strong in our ability to smell something? I don't think so. Say, for instance, devas can smell a lot of things. Devas. What about a dog? Dog can smell a lot of things than us. We only look at the bag, but dog says, no, there's drug inside the bag. There's drug inside. How come we don't know? But how come he knows? That means his nose capacity is much stronger than us. The smelling capacity. Sniffing, he can sniff. Right? So that means by birth, because of the good karma, bad karma, we have come down certain blessings in our life. Sometimes some other things have happened too. Say, for instance, some health problems too. So, whatever happens, you always think that you should be able to smell anything, anytime, all the time. But When it is not happening, you might feel not happy. When you are not happy, then you are in trouble. You don't need to know what is happening after that. You are not happy means all the mess is happening after that. It's a crisis. Then that means if you bring anatta, no. Yes, sometimes I may not be able to manage my smell that is coming outside. It is not my problem. It might be some other problems. So I think that these smells are also not self. They should not be considered as self. They are not. If they are self, then I should have been able to manage them. Then we are going to an interesting faculty after that. Jivha. That is number 7. Jivha. What does Jivha means?
Tongue.
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 Tongue. Yeah, tongue. In Buddhism, there is no sense faculty called face. Right? There is no sense faculty called face. Right? That's why some Buddhists don't care about their face. They think that they don't want to do makeup, face mask, whatever. they don't understand because they think that the only faculty, main faculty, is the tongue. And it is said that the Buddha had a very long tongue. In the suttas, it is said that he can cover up his whole face. It's pretty scary in a way, but it is what it is. Pahuta Jivha. Pali word is, let me write down for you. Pahuta Jivha. Pahuta means long. Okay, this one, Pahuta Jivha. So the sutta is Lakkana Sutta, Digha Nikaya. You can see the 32 very great body, what do you call it? Physiognomic characteristics. Lakkana Sutta. Digha Nikaya. If you want to see. It is said something very interesting with regard to why he got this long tongue. It is said that because he has never lied, never talked behind the back, never hurt other people with his speech, never gossiped and idle chattered ever since he took the Bodhisattva vow. Now, look at the people who are actually stuttering sometimes. We don't have to disrespect anybody who cannot talk sometimes. You can see that medically speaking, their tongue is short. They were not born with a long tongue. And at the same time, it is said when the Buddha is talking, there is a smell coming from his mouth. Now, think about our smell. If you have a bad smell, that's not nice. But Buddha smells blue lotus smell. Ever since he took the Bodhisattva vows, he never lied. He never talked behind the back, slandered. He never hurt other people with his speech. He never gossiped, idle chattered. So it's a good smell. Right? So there are a lot of things attached to the tongue with regard to the Buddha, actually. Very interesting. So we can learn. Never start doing anything wrong with our speech. So here it is said, Jivha is not self. My tongue, your tongue is not yours at a certain level, in a different context. But you might say, no, then who is going to eat this and that food? Who is going to eat street food? Who is going to eat that food, this food then, if it is not my tongue? Tell me, how do we understand this? The Buddha said, our tongue is not ours. Your tongue is not yours. Anatta. How to understand this? Are we getting problems with regard to tongue? Health-wise, accident-wise, what are the problems that the tongue may go through?
Tongue cancer.
Tongue cancer. You mean the mouth ulcers? You mean mouth cancer problem? It could be tongue cancer. Okay, what are the other problems that can happen to our tongue? What What are other problems?
Not this.
Will there be a time that we will lose our tasty buds in our tongue? It can happen. What is the time that we will lose the tasty buds? When we are sick. Say, I don't have appetite, I cannot feel
High
this.
fever.
No spicy, no sour, no soup. Because I still have fever, maybe flu. But if you ask from the person, no, I really want to feel it. I really want to feel the taste of this spicy food, that sour food, that food, this food. But surprisingly, I cannot feel it. Then my tongue is not working the way I want. If it is my tongue, it shouldn't be like this. It has to feel the taste. But there are times this can happen. So we understand a certain level of, inability of our tongue with regard to the anatta nature. But this doesn't mean our caring aspect to the tongue. We have to brush the tongue. We have to keep it clean. We have to take care of it. Yeah, they all are yours. Yes, that's why the Buddha said, Atta self exists. But at a different level, tongue cannot exist as self. It is not self. We understand the both. But the unwise people think, no, tongue is not self. There is no self with regard to tongue. There is a certain self, changing self. But in a different context, different level, tongue is not self too. We should understand both, not one. It's both. Then object with regard to the tongue. That's going to be number 8. This one, rasa. Rasa means
Taste.
taste. Interesting, huh? How many tastes are there?
5.
Huh?
5.
Sweet,
5
sour.
tastes.
5 types of taste, yeah. Sweet,
Would
sour,
you mind naming them?
bitter, sweet, sour, bitter, sweet and sour.
Let's see. There are 5 types of tastes. Now we are going to connect. Yes, we are going to connect this to the tongue now. So sometimes there is someone who cannot enjoy the food experience, not because, maybe not because of the tongue problem. It might be the problem of the perception. Let's say there is someone who didn't like the restaurant that they were going finally. So now this person has developed a certain sanya. No, I'm not going to like any food over there. You may like this food, but I don't like it. Actually, food is good. But this person had created a certain dislike about the food in the restaurant. And when others are asking, how was the food? Okay. How you say, okay lah. Okay. Okay. But because the sanya was created by this person before going to the restaurant, but it was good, not just okay. They were okay. So that means because of your inability to understand what's happening, you may lose the ability to feel the taste in that example, right? So we understand because of that, rasa, taste, experience can be changeable. At the same time, that is not yours. If it is yours, then you should be able to taste everything at the same time. What if that you are going to enjoy someone's food? He or she said, I made this food, I bake this one. But you know the taste of that food, but that person on that day could not make it to that taste. Can that happen? Due to a certain mistake, maybe she or he was very rushing to something, not baking enough, not doing the prior things enough. Then the taste can, at that point, you understand, no? So you cannot achieve that taste. So it's not self. That is going to be what you call rasa. Okay? Ninth one, kaya. Body is not self. What kind of statement is that? Huh? Whose body is now lying on chairs here on Zoom? Somebody else's body or your body? Whose body is this?
Uh,
How do you call it? Is it your body or somebody else's body?
my
Where
body.
are you now? Where are you? Where do you stay now? Right there. I'm right here. I'm right here sitting. My body is sitting on this chair in this place, right? But then why the Buddha says this body is not self? There are times, moments that this body does not listen to us, does not exist the way that we want it to be. Tell me the moments.
The hair is graying, Bhante,
Ah,
white hair.
I think you nailed that at the beginning. That means
Yeah.
yes, that means nobody wants to have those kind of gray hair, but hair is going to be gray.
Lost
But
the
then,
teeth.
but just because of it is becoming gray, do we just have to accept it?
Yes.
We are accepting it, but there's no harm to color it.
No.
Just color it. Just feel yourself good. Then all Buddhists should not dye their hair.
Mm.
They only dye the robe in the katina, in the temple. They should not dye anything else. You have to dye and make yourself comfortable, make yourself good. That is important. Then you take care of yourself. Dhamma is coming at that point. If I take care of myself, I have to take care of my spiritual life as
But Bhante, just now you said Buddhists cannot color hair.
well. No. Buddhists can, Buddhists should, but some Buddhists don't.
Oh,
I said it is good because you have to feel yourself good.
good. Yeah.
Yes. Otherwise, you cannot be, if you don't feel yourself good, then an idea about practicing a spiritual journey will not come to you. But if you are very stuck about your beautification, that is a problem.
Intoxicated is not good.
Intoxication is a problem.
Yeah, it's not
There
good.
are people like that. But you have to feel good.
But
So-
Bhante, sorry, but it's good to learn how to renounce, right? Renounce, like letting go. We
No,
just
there is a time we have to renounce without choice.
yeah.
Right? Let's wait for that time. But if you are someone who want to renounce, just become a monk or a nun. So they already renounce intention. But lay people, I don't think they just have to spend their life. Otherwise, I think we have to bring back that story which I shared in my Pali class. Remember the story? I think I have to tell that maybe a little bit and then we will continue. There was a man, a banker, Setti means banker at that time, like anatta, that kind of a man who was newly married, who met a monk somewhere when he met a monk. Then he was close to the monk, and then so he's guiding now this banker. So then he asked from the monk, I want to intensify my practice, improve my practice, Dhamma practice. What can I do? Okay, you give dana, right? Give dana. All right, so I will give dana once a month because I'm a busy guy. Then he again approached the monk after 1 month. Then I want to intensify my practice. And he said, okay, now you only give once a month. Then you can give every week. He started giving every week, making time. I'm a very busy man, but he made time for that. With wife, not alone. You do good things, you have to do together. Not alone sometimes. He brings the family into the place. But sometimes you can do, you cannot do because of other people's problem. But you try to do together better. It's better. Same idea, same context. And then he again approached the monk after some. He said, I want to intensify, improve, increase my. He said, okay, now you give dana every week. Why don't you give dana 3 days a week? In this way, because of his pestering, the monk told him, you give dana every day. So he made time for that too, finally. Then he asked, I think I'm giving too many danas now, but what else I can do? He said, okay, you know, sila, practice some sila now, some discipline. Just giving dana is not enough. You need to have some discipline. Sila. He asked, what are the silas? He said, not killing, not stealing, not sexually misconducting, not lying, not taking intoxicant. Then he, again, after some time, he kept asking from the monk, now what can I do? The monk had no answers. I was speaking. He said, you become a monk now. Okay, I will ask from my wife. And then she said, okay, if you really want to go, you go. It's okay. Then he became a monk. Then what happened? He got two teachers. Normally, when you become a monk, you have to have two teachers. One is teacher, other one is mentor. Acharya, Upajjhaya. Acharya is the one you go meet all the time, and Upajjhaya is sometimes, time to time, you go see him or see her. So, what happened to this young man who became a monk was his Acharya was a Vinaya teacher, very strict about the discipline. And when he goes to see him, he says, you can't do this, must do this, start this, don't do that. A lot of do's and don'ts. When he goes to see the Upajjhaya mentor, he's an Abhidhamma teacher. He talks about very, very hardcore things. We don't exist. Mind is somewhere inside of a heart. Right? So now he's going here and there. He was like so uncomfortable now. He said, now I can't even stretch my hand. Earlier, when I was in the house, I was free man. When I want to go to the temple, I go come back. But now, I can't even stretch my hand out. I can't flex my hand. What is this? I think I have complicated my spiritual life. I better go back. So I started now going back home. Other monks caught him, unenlightened. Where are you going? He said, I can't practice because too many rules here. Rules and too many Dhamma things. Then the Buddha overheard this conversation. Some said, ask him to come and see me. Then the Buddha asked, what's going on? I said, I was really a good person. I've been giving dana, then sila. Then somehow I was thinking to maximize my practice. Then I asked my this teacher and he said, you become a monk. I became a monk. Then I understood after some time, I think becoming a monk and, behaving as a monk is more complicated to me compared to my lay life. So I'm not happy. If I'm not happy, I don't want to be a monk. I don't want to stay longer in the monkhood. I better go back. Then the Buddha asked a very simple question. Don't think about Vinaya. Don't think about Abhidhamma. Can you do one thing for me or for you? Said, what is that? Can you take care of your thoughts? He said, okay, I will take care of my thoughts. Don't be worried about the Vinaya. Don't be worried about the Abhidhamma. We don't disrespect anybody who has Dhamma knowledge or Vinaya knowledge or Abhidhamma knowledge. But it is not how it works for everybody. We are different. The way how we understand. Then he started taking care of the thoughts. He did not label anything with regard to Vinaya or Abhidhamma. He became a Sotapanna and Arahant. That's how it happened. So that means things are different and the way how we perceive things are also different. Now we're going back to the body. When we say Kaya Anatta, we need to understand that renunciation as a layperson has to be done in a way that you don't complicate your lay life. Because sometimes when you suddenly change to these things, you are complicating your other people in the household. You are separating from the family. In the same house, you are separated. But you are still a layperson. Why are you sitting between? Either you become a monk or nun, but keep in mind that thing will happen to you. But unluckily that the Buddha is not here anymore. So you won't get that kind of a good advice. Take care of one thing. So it's better that as a layperson, practice renunciation within a different perspective. What's the perspective? Try to live a simple life. Simple life is not a minimalist life. Some people they wrong because it's minimalism coming from the Western cultures. To them, they are becoming minimalist because of their what do you call financial economic function. But for us, what we are talking is a life with regard to simplicity. That is good for renunciation. So going back to the body, kaya anatta means there are things that are happening to us, like what Sumita said. Hair becomes grey. Then what else? What are other things that can happen?
Aging. We have to accept that the body will grow old, and then we have sickness, and then the death. As in
But just because we are getting old, we should not lose to the aging. That's why we have to understand. Buddha also said in one sutta, Donapaka Sutta, he said, don't need to lose the battle to the aging. He said, you have to age slowly.
Yes.
And why we want to accept, yes, I embrace, but why do I hurry that? Why do I rush my aging? You are in your 40s, 50s, but you want to become 80 years old person. Why should I? Why should we? Let it happen. But we take care of us. So the Buddha said, Sanikang ayum jiranti. That is something interesting. Buddha talks about eating habits in that sutta, Donapaka Sutta. He said, King Kosala, you can't even sit down here because you are going here and there. You are overeating. Next time when you eat less. Right? Nowadays we eat too much, lots of food. So eat less. That will help you to age slowly. That means aging is happening slowly. Let's slow down the aging. Right? Then there are a lot of things we can do. Number one thing about aging is eating habits. And then our mental well-being. If you are every day depressed, stressed out, unhappy, angry, frustrated, yeah, you are bringing aging very fast. You become older very fast. That means then you don't say that. So there are people who wrongly understand. They are very depressed, very stressed out. Now they are getting older very fast. When they discuss things with others, look, anicca. What do you call? Vyadi, jara, this jara. But they don't understand what the Buddha said. Jara is happening slowly. But why you want to rush it? Don't rush it. Let it happen in the way. Take care of yourself. Because why? If you go to Jara very fast, you will die. When you die, you don't know where you're going to be reborn. How to practice Dhamma. You think you can practice and finish Dhamma journey in this life itself.
Bhante, Jara means what?
Jara is the Pali word for aging.
Okay.
Jara, let me type for you. New word, huh? Jara. Jara means aging. Okay, so I think the timing I gotta speed up. So body, we are going to take care of the body, but there are certain areas of the body we cannot manage. Then we understand this is happening because body is not truly us. There are changes happening. Don't rush for those changes. And then we have pottabba. Pottabba means touch. Touch. Is touch a problem? Sometimes is touch not self? Yeah, we want to have our own touch, the pillow, bed, people, right? Even the pets, animals, right? What if the dog that all the time coming to you does not come to you on one day?
It's the
For
touch.
whatever the reason, you are not happy about why is he like this? You're supposed to come and just show me some love, and when you are not showing that love today, why? What's happening? Then you understand the dog affection was kind of disturbed at a certain point on that day. So we are not thinking that that touch is mine. It can be changed. And the people who were around you, who giving lots of happiness to you, sometime they might change. If they happen to change, don't worry. We understand these different characters without blaming, right? Happily understanding, and then wisely thinking what to do at that point. That's a good thing. And the son and the daughter who you lovingly raise for many, many years, sometimes what if they are not showing the love that you expected from them long term? What is happening to you all of a sudden? Maybe the daughter-in-law, the one who came to the family, maybe son-in-law who came to the family, maybe brainwashing your part. It can happen, right? And then how do you accept these changes? Can you accept right away? Or you blaming your own part? You blaming your son, you blaming your daughter. You have to take care of all these things. So we understand. They have become another family. We have to understand too. And even they are your people, they can also become changed. Just accept it. That acceptance heals yourself another 10%. Right? Another 10%, maybe more than that. Okay, finally, with regard to timing, we go to the 11 and 12. Mano anatta is 11. Dhamma is 12. Okay, mano means, what does mano here mean?
Mind.
Mind.
Mind. Now,
Bhante, mind.
there's a problem here. English mind and the Dhamma mano, there is a little difference. Now, normally we understand mano in the Buddhist Pali teachings is a place. Mano means the place where thoughts are happening. Thereby consciousness is being formed, finally. So, is our mano not self? Tell me a good example. What if one day you get diagnosed with dementia? Do you want to call yourself a dementia patient? One day you're going to be diagnosed as an Alzheimer patient. Would you like to become so? Would you like to be called as an Alzheimer patient? I don't think. One day you are going to get diagnosed with a certain mental problem. I think nobody, even you go to a mentally sick people hospital, nobody wants to be mentally sick. But choicelessly they are becoming as such. They have become whatever the cognitive deprivations. That means mind does not work the way that they want. Even this happens to you in daily life. Today I went to the shop. I didn't want to buy the chocolate, but I bought it. Why? I ate it. I think something wrong with my mind. You are blaming your mind. That means that mind is not yours. Now you are blaming your mind. Right? Maybe today you talk bad about somebody. You then later found out that's not you. That was not really you. Your real you is a very different one, very good person. But suddenly it happened. You're blaming your mind. Why I got this kind of a thought? That means mind does not work the way you want. That's why you have to go to retreats. That's why you have to meditate. If mind is good, why you have to meditate? Mind is not yours. It's not yourself. So you have to do a lot of things. Meditate, practice bhavana, do dana, many, many things just to protect this mind, to keep it yourself. But all of a sudden, mind becomes not self. What about the object side? Mind and Dhamma. Dhamma means? What does Dhamma here mean? Thoughts, whatever the things that are coming to your mind. All right, so now, just to make it very short, Buddha says, anatta sanya. How to practice anatta sanya? Then Buddha says, this way you are going to practice not self with regard to ajattika bahiri. Ajattika means internal. You are bringing not self to internal faculties, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, mind, ajjatika. Then bahiris means external objects. Sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and body. Then you are practice anatta. I think today you learned something new also. Forget about the healing part. If somebody asking you one day, I have learned anicca, dukkha, anatta, how to practice anatta? Today you know how to do it. Otherwise, you are very dumbfounded. How to practice it? We know anatta is not self. How to do it? I have to think that my eyes are not self. My sight is not self. This is how everybody has to practice anatta. That means if you practice anicca, 10% of healing happening if you look at the consistency, and another 10% is going to work with regard to the anatta sign. All right, any questions? We'll
Bhante,
make it
can
to probably couple questions only, maybe two, three questions. Yes, Samita?
Yeah, Bhante, can I just share? They said the easiest way to practice anatta is you must know that it's beyond your control. It's beyond your
Yeah,
control.
that's a good way to perceive. Yeah.
Yes, you just
So there are
embrace it.
there are certain things that are beyond our control, beyond our management. Actually, then how to do it? We need to be patient. There are certain things that are happening, not within us.
Auntie.
Yes.
Auntie.
Kanti, yeah, Kanti. Thank you for reminding the Parliament. Kanti. Other questions? How to ask questions? Questions are not self too. Questions themselves are not self too. So how to ask questions? No, there is a nature. You connect to the question.
Maybe I ask one thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
So like jara aging, normally it occurs very slowly. We are not even aware that we age. Right. So what I think we suffer more is when the senses are lost, like suddenly go blind or suddenly go deaf, or I think that's when human beings start to contemplate even deeper, but the slow transition, somehow we are in a dream, like we never really, although we know anicca, but anatta, we never really embrace it fully. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, anatta is embraceable because we always have an option to understand anicca. Bad changes are happening, good changes are also happening. Changes are happening. We have options to understand, alternatives. But for anatta, we don't have that many alternatives. Anatta is a state of reality. Now, going back to the point that somebody made here, there are things that are beyond our control. Say, for instance, death. Say, it's a good one, death. There is someone who is going to have a premature death, going to die in his 30s. He doesn't like to die. She doesn't like to die either, but going to die. Let's say that if the dates of this person is destined, counted, numbered by the doctors, you won't live for more than 3 months. Your cancer is very aggressive cancer. Then it's a very good time. He or she knows the doctors have told me that I won't live more than 3 months. How to accept this? You can accept anicca in a different way. You have this and this, but anatta, you must understand the reality. Right? So that's the difference between anicca's easiness to understand anicca and a bit of difficulty in understand anatta. Because people don't want to go back to the reality all the time, right? People want to live in a little bit light reality. They don't want to think too much about it. Yes.
Bhante, so in this case, you're saying that if you are told that you will not live so long, so you have to accept it that the body don't belong to you, so let it go.
No, that is a good example of anatta. Now the person doesn't want to die, but he has to die. There's something wrong in the body. So then you understand, a lot of people don't get ready to accept that one. But they will slowly understand at a certain point, saying goodbye to the people around and saying goodbye to the habits, daily routine, everything. But it's very difficult to do it. It's very difficult, it's very challenging than anicca. Anicca is at least a bit, convenient compared to anatta at that point. So, but there are other light examples for anatta. Say, for instance, you come up with a certain flu at that point, your nose is not working. You can't smell. So let's take that kind of example. Then you understand, my nose is not working the way I want.
Mm.
With regard to the body, yes, my body has to die, but I will go to another body. Right?
Thank you, Bhante.
Let's make it very simple. Let's take it to our normal life. Don't take anatta from a very, very difficult point of view. Let's take anatta to solve our daily problems, especially with regard to dealing with other people. When somebody did something wrong to us, when somebody hurt us, think about it. Even the person who hurt us is not living anymore in that self. As I said, now almost 10 o'clock, 6 hours pass by. So we'll take anatta to that kind of a light example, not like death and those things. They are also part. Yes, Hema, you have a question?
Yeah, Bhante, is in my mind thinking about anatta that normally, I don't know, those days I was thinking it's more to non-attachment to I, mine, the is non-attachment to it, that detached from that, from the being like is my body or is mine and all that. But today's learning is very in-depth to the 6 faculties, and I mean 6 senses and the 12 the faculties involved. So what about related to non-self or not self is not attached, not me attached, been attached to the I and or mind. Like if there's a problem related to somehow or other something happened, that I will detach myself and not in it. I don't know. Monday, just clarify for me.
Okay. Now the problem is with regard to the English translation,
Yes.
detachment. This is a translation with regard to the Hindu detachment. Normally, we don't use this attachment, detachment to Buddhist explanations. Greed is there.
Okay.
Don't dissect the experience between the self and the not self. Now, say for instance, you said, I started
I and
developing a
mine.
certain detachment to my own eyes. It is not really practical in our life because we can't detach from our eyes. Rather, we understand my eyes are working with changes. I can take care of my eyes to a certain extent. But there is another area where I cannot take care of my eyes. Eyes are going through the condition phenomena, like what is happening to my eyes. So just understanding the existence of these two aspects, that
Yeah.
is anatta. Not saying that I want to detach, I want to dissect from my experience, disconnect from my eyes experience. That is not going to
Okay.
work.
But the non-self, the not self, something, can I understand is something like not I, not mine, not me.
Yeah, that is correct, but it has to be understood in a different context. The Buddha said, Neso hamasmi, Neso mama, Neso me atta. That's how Buddha explained Anatta Lakkana Sutta, given to the Panchavagya Bhikkhu. But in that sutta, even what the Buddha said was that don't disconnect from your sensory experiences.
Yeah.
Because sensory deprivation is not Buddhism. What the Buddha said was that understand self and not self at 2 levels of the sensory experience. They both work at 2 levels. That means what I call my eyes exist with changes. What do people think? Those who don't understand, no, my eyes exist without changes. I have a permanent, unchanged eye experience. That is not Buddhism. Yes, my eyes exist, it changes. But there are certain areas in that experience which I cannot do much about my eye experience. I have to embrace that choicelessly. That is what you call not self, because I cannot do anything to my eye experience. So they become choicelessly not self. So understanding these two with regard to sounds, ears,
The six
smell, and all
senses.
these six senses.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very in-depth. I mean, today's teaching is really good because it let me see another, it is the truth of from the Sutta. So normally what I read is about readings, you know, the connection of the I, mind, and me. So it became not self or non-self. But anyhow, today the Sutta here is really clarified, much clearer in what I have to know. Thank you, thank you, Bhante. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
I think we will wrap this up because I'm getting
Mm.
ready for a retreat tomorrow. So may all the good karmas we be making today be transferred to all the departed ones who passed away in the name of all of us. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam
Sadhu Bhante.
yati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idam yati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idam yati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. May Deva Naga Mahitika share all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of you for good health, quality of life, and prosperity, safety. May they, in particular, bless your Dhamma journeys. May your Dhamma journeys become very consistent. Dhamma journeys not become stagnant. May Deva Naga Mahidika also attain the supreme bliss. Sadhu, sadhu. Ettavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sampradang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sampradang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sampradang sabbe satta anumodantu Sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha chibuddha deva naga mahitika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu sasanam. Akasattha chibuddha deva naga mahitika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu desanam. Akasattha chibuddha deva naga mahitika Punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhang tumang paranti chirang rakhang tumang sanganti. We are also going to make our aspiration, our Dhamma wish. Our Dhamma wish is a continuous wish to be surrounded with the Kalyana Mitras, those who always speak good speech, who always come up with good thoughts, who always act on good actions. May they be surrounded with us, and may we be surrounded with those Kalyana Mitras till we attain Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Emina punya kammena mami bala samaganu satan samaganu hontu yavani nibbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas we be making today by learning about anatta. I think the most important concept in Buddhism. After this is sunyata. So this is the most important concept for us to understand. The third characteristics of a universal cosmic world, and we learn it under the Girimānanda Sutta. May this understanding always deepen our Dhamma knowledge. At the same time, may all these good karmas be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silis nichang vadha pacha inu chattaru dhamma vadhanti ayuvan sukhaṃ balam Ayurarogya sampatti, Sagga sampatti mevacha, Ato nibbana sampatti, Iminati samicchatu, sadhu, sadhu. And with that blessing, wishing everybody good night, pleasant night, and see you next Friday at the same time.
Yes.
Good night, Bhante.
Thank you
very much,
Bhante.
Bhante.
Thank you.
Good night, brother.
Sadhu,
Sister.
sadhu.
Sadhu,
Thank
sadhu,
you everyone.
sadhu.
Good night everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.